Hi everybody, this is Liz with 143 Handmade. I'm here today to embellish the journal, the mini roses journal that we made together. This is from Betty's Custom Designs. All the links will be in the description box below. So it's an adorable little journal. This is a printable that you can get from her Etsy shop. She has really reasonable prices and beautiful papers. But what I thought I would do today is start by inking it up a little bit, and then we'll just play with the ephemera a bit. I'm not exactly sure, what I'm going to do, but thought I would start by inking it up with pink to accentuate the pink of the roses. Actually, here's another little tip as far as inking goes. I printed this up. This is the cardstock cover that I actually used, but this is the paper cover that I accidentally printed out, actually. But it's a great idea to print an extra one, and that way you can test your ink colors, because you come up here. Yeah, there you can see there's this brighter pink right here, and then the pink that I decided to use right here. There's just a subtle difference, but I really liked this one better. And I also checked a couple of different greens on there. So that's a great little way to check your ink colors before you actually use it on your final project. Print out an extra cover, print out, a couple extras here and there, and then that way you can try your colors on, on something that's not so part of the finished product. So you're not so worried about it if it doesn't go quite right. But I really like the double inking. I almost never ink with just one color these days. In this case, because it already has the good brown, accent from the printable itself, I thought that the green was far more appropriate than adding more brown. But you can see by just doing a light, quick brush over the top of that pink, how it draws that pink back down a little bit, because I don't have anything that was quite the right shade. And so by doing the green as the top layer, it softens that. It dulls, or not softens it, it dulls the pink just that little bit by it being that extra layer on top. And of course, with inking, you can get as crazy as you want, have as much fun as you want. Go as many layers as you want all over the place. I'm just going to add just a little bit on this inside cover. Anyway, so here we go. We've got it all inked up. Actually, I think I'm going to hue it in just a little more with that green. That corner was standing out as a little bright green to me, or dark green, or a little too much contrast. So we're just going to hue in the rest of that. There we go. And so how I joined the pages, these are just accordion folded pages, so that it does pull out. But what I did where I joined the pages, instead of just gluing them flat to each other, I left a pocket. Okay, that one doesn't fit in that one, but you see, you get the idea. So here we go. So we're going to stick that envelope back in there. Oh, there's a little white edge. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. So you have to be a little bit careful on some of these softer things. Something I like to do is for inking is keeping a hold of one of these covers that's really shiny, but still something I'm totally comfortable throwing away if it gets gross. And you just hold it flat, and then you can do the swirl, up onto your thing, onto your piece. If it's just a thin paper, sometimes you don't want to wrinkle up too much. This is a great way to add some ink to it without bending it all over the place. So I'm just going to grab just a little more. Go ahead and do across the inside of this. Dull that down just slightly. And just grab up my green brush. I didn't even add any green to it. This is just what was on the brush already. Just to kind of tie the colors together. Or tie the pieces together, excuse me. And so now that little white edge that was there is gone. And we can tuck this in. Let's see, on the camera. Tuck this in like so. And if you're worried about it staying closed, you can always add a little paper clip. I think once it's had a chance to sit there closed for a while, it'll be fine. And so let's see, let's grab all this other ephemera. This is the same envelope, just out of cardstock. Here's the other envelope that comes with the kit. And all the little tags and bits and stuff. Let's see, here's the other envelope. Let's go ahead and add just a tiny bit. Just to kind of, you know, again, make it cohesive. Make everything make sense to the eye, that this is a set. This all goes together. And then here's some other pieces that came with the kit. Let's see. Here's another little piece. Let's go ahead and turn this into a pocket. I'm going to double it over. There we go. And I just folded it in half and glued it just to give it a little bit more stability, because it was just a thin piece of just paper. So let's see, do we want to go ahead and add our pocket? We're going to have to trim it down, it looks like, but do we want to add our pocket on the front cover? Yeah, I think because of the way that the pages, you know, float, so to speak, I think I'm just going to add the pockets on the covers. So, let's see, do we want to add the darker one on the cover or the lighter one? I don't think it matters. Okay, so let me grab my scissors. These are not my favorites, but they sure have stuck around a long time. Let's go ahead and trim off about that far. So that way it definitely looks like a pocket. It almost looks like a planter, and actually I think I can make it shorter too. That way it kind of just accentuates that look. Make sure, yeah, it accentuates that look of that being planted in this darker pot. And so I'm just going to trim off just a random amount, just eyeballing it. Not even sure that's straight. I know, brave, right? But I can always straighten it up if I need to. And it looks like I need to. So, let's see. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to grab my knife and just lightly, I'm not actually trying to cut. I'm just marking a line that is completely invisible because there's no ink. It will just go away with the cut. So there we go. Just drew a line. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but okay, I did in fact cut through the one layer because it is double layered. So, but that gives me a clean line to cut across. And there we go. We have our little pot. Let's see, which side do we like better? That side or that side? I think this side, and I'm going to go ahead and dab on just a little bit of green. You might not even notice it all that much, you know, but it's those little extras that bring a package together that you know, you don't really think about, but they do in fact add a huge amount to the project. Let's see, do I want to go ahead and use that other one, or do I want to actually just use a tag as the tuck spot in the back? Just anchor that down on the side there, and then just tuck the other stuff behind it. Or maybe just down here in the corner. Decisions. No, I think I'm going to go ahead and use this other piece. But I think I'm going to fold it this way instead, lengthwise. And this is just another piece that comes with the kit. This is nothing extra so far. Okay, there we go. And see, oh, that is another thing to mention, is if you do this with the inking on a shiny surface, if you lay something else on top of it, it will sometimes pick up some of it. And as you can see, I was obviously working something purple before. So that will probably be the back on this one, because the purple doesn't really fit with the little journal here. And so the reason why I folded it this way is because this time I'm just going to cut off, let's see, like a square essentially. To anchor right there and be able to tuck things in, I think. Let's see, decisions. It's good because I could add another little pocket right in this corner, and I think that would work really well because it's anchored down so well. So let's see, do we want to put that one there and then put this one, put the larger one in the back? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so, and again, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my brushes, you know, that I used to ink before, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just use whatever's on them. I'm not getting fresh ink because that might be a little overpowering to something so little. So, and let's see. See, that's a cut edge, that's a seamed edge, there's the folded edge. So it's just about deciding which, you know, where you want your folded edge. I want it like that. So, okay, so this is where I want it. So I'm going to hold it by this corner because I know I want to glue these two sides. So when I flip it over, I don't get confused as to what's going on. You know, because I don't know about y'all, but when I flip stuff around like that, sometimes I do get very confused and I will end up gluing the wrong thing. So, and again, my glue is just flowing way too much, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe it back. This is such a skinny little thing that it really doesn't need half that glue. Let me see, maybe I can use this as scrap to kind of scrape some of that up. There we go. That worked quite nicely, actually. Yeah. There we go. Oh, and then I went and bunched the other side. So there we go. I'm wiping on my little rag over here. Okay. Let me set that in that crease there. Yep, just like that. And now we've got two pockets. And let's see, where'd that third one go? Oh, it was sitting very nicely where it was supposed to go. Just a touch of that green. And then, oh, wipe my glue volcano away. And let's see. This one I'm going to anchor this way. So I want to keep this corner clean and free. These are the corners that I want. Yeah, see now my glue's just barely coming out like I like it, so I can get a nice thin line. So that one I'm not even going to worry about wiping. And then see my corner didn't come together perfect there, so I'm actually going to use my pocket to cover that up. Just hide it. Just like that. There we go. And see, mine's just going to sit on a shelf and look pretty. I'm going to, you know, pull it down every now and then, but for the most part, it's just going to sit up there and look pretty. So it doesn't need to be, like, ridiculously robust or anything. Now, if you were actually going to be handling it, you know, and, you know, actively journaling in it or something of that nature, then you would obviously, you know, want to be careful and make sure that you're adding good strong anchor points and whatnot. I think 3 is all that's going to tuck in there well without just falling apart or falling out. Let's see. Excuse me, I do have another pocket right here built in. Let's see how well those fit. Okay, so they do stick out just slightly. So we'll go ahead and add a couple of those in there. And now add these little the rest of our little tags in and around in our pockets. And of course you can, you know, decorate these up as much as you want or as little as you want. The tags themselves, as well as, you know, all the different bits and pieces. And so, and I do in fact have this other envelope that goes with it. Let's see. No, I don't like that. I was thinking I might just be able to stick it on the front there, but no, I don't care for that, how that grabbed on there. Let's see, does it fit in this pocket? Yeah, it does. Okay. So we're just going to slip that on in there. We'll go ahead and pull these tags back out, so that way we just have the envelopes in the pockets. And we can always actually put this tag in this envelope. And let's see, I don't know if this envelope got anything put in it or not. Nope. Let's see. Does that fit? Yes, it fits nicely down in that envelope. So there we go. So now the book and all of the ephemera is there. This is torn, just a torn bed sheet. It's laundered. That's actually coffee stains because I coffee stained part of it. So let's see, I think something about that long will do. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it around. I like to do the twice wrap around and then tuck. So yeah, go ahead and cut it there. And I think it's still a little bit wide, so I'm gonna snip it and then rip it down even further so I have an even narrower, smaller piece. Get my stringies under control, because there's always a certain amount of stringies when you rip like that. So hold that like so, 1 and then 2 and tuck. Hold on to that top one, and it's kind of a knot, but kind of not all at the same time. And yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and leave it long like so, but there we go, and it unravels easily, and there we go. Cute little embellished journal. Another little quick flip through of all of our little bits. Our envelope tucked in. This one is pushing it out a little bit because this envelope's made out of cardstock and this is just made out of paper, but I'm totally fine with that. So how cute is that? Since I am going to wrap it, another option would be to, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to glue this onto there like so. You'll see what I mean here in just a second. So now I'm just using the finger tool. I'm gonna wipe to make sure it gets all the way out to the edge, because cardstock is funny and it likes to, the corners like to pull up when you glue it to other things sometimes. So it's really important to get those edges and those corners. If you don't like using finger tool, you know, there's all kinds of different tools you can get for smearing, you know, your various stuffs around. Then we add that like so, making sure to position it to where that flap will still go ahead and close inside the book. Give it a good press and rub down. Give my fingers a good little scrubby over here real quick while that's drying for 2 seconds. There we go. And see, now when we open it, that envelope exists right here. You can see how it's pulling away, but that's just because I messed with it too soon. The glue's still drying. So, but that shows another way of how you can add that envelope in. And for that matter, you could, you know, just kind of tweak that just a little bit and make that a closure to the whole journal. And just anchor that. We could anchor that, or we could just, you know, use your finger to anchor it as you're wrapping. You know, and then tuck. So, there we go. Not super satisfied with that tie. We'll figure out something. You know, I might just get a little Velcro dot or a magnet. I think a Velcro dot would probably be easier there. Or if I was to actually glue that in place, yeah, I think that's actually what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna glue that fabric into place right here. And don't worry, I'll make it pretty. Because it won't be at first, you know. Anchoring the end of ribbon, you know, isn't always a very pretty thing. Let's go ahead and get rid of my glue mat there. Not that I always remember to use it, obviously, but actually I do. It's not really a glue mat. I misspoke there. I usually use it more for inks than gluing. So, there we go. And I'm just reaching up here to see what other little ephemera I have. Okay, those pieces are big. And those are from another kit. So, let's see, I have this my little tub here of itty bitty things. It has all kinds of itty bitty things in it. I'm gonna go ahead and move that and that because those are kind of flopping over. So I can dig through here and check my itty bitty things. Find something to put. There we go. Here's some itty bitty things. I need to get some tweezers out here. That would be good. But I was actually thinking this little bee. And then maybe I have some leaves over here on this other side. Maybe a leaf first. And then the little bitty bee. To make it look pretty on the inside. And with those, we just need a tiny, actually I'm going to go ahead and ink this up just a little bit. It's a little bit on the bright green for this particular journal. The coloration's not quite right, so I'm just going to dull it back, both pieces, with my brown. There we go, starting to get it dulled. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell if you've dulled it or not until you move your finger, and then it's like, wow, that part's a lot darker. There we go. Now they're in the right colorway. And so we just need the tiniest dollop of glue to hold these on. It really will not take much. Yeah, see, that's plenty to hold both on. So what I'm going to do is see, I've got too much glue on here. So here's well, I guess I inked both sides, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to go ahead and just put my little bee on there and smear it around. And that way now I've got that glue on both pieces. And then stick them on here to cover that up. And it's okay that, you know, just a little tiny part of that is poking through, but now it looks anchored. It looks like, you know, some thought was put into that. It's not just an afterthought. Oh. So, and then just wrap. Oh, get my stringy out of the way. Stringy, stringy, stringies. Stringies everywhere. So, here we go. Thanks again, Betty, for letting me participate in your design team. It's been awesome. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see, obviously, and you want to see more. That subscribe button, I can't tell you how important it is to a new channel getting started. You know, I know as a user, as a viewer, you don't really think about how important that subscribe button is, but as a new YouTuber, any channel, it's incredibly vital, because until you have 1,000 subscribers, there's a lot of things on YouTube that you don't get as a creator. So, but thank you very much. I appreciate your time.